Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a lovely looking car. It's a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel automatic, finished in black, but this one's got the exterior pack, this urban pack I believe it's called. Got these little silver trims underneath the front bumpers, front and rear, and it's got these kind of aero side steps as well. It really is, it's very subtle, but it makes the car, it makes such a difference to the look of the car basically. The car is in fabulous condition. I'll go around it for you. Lights and lenses on the front there, completely clear, intact. Front bumper very clean indeed. Bonnet itself, hardly a stone chip of any note on there at all. It's very clean and tidy. Coming down the near side, passenger side first, really smooth on the panels, fitted with door protectors as well. Sorry, I should have said those as well. So it helps getting bashed, so the wind's picking up. Near side rear alloy, the front alloy, sorry, very clean, no marks on there at all, and panel work very nice indeed. Near side rear alloy again, absolutely beautiful. Around the back of the car, bumper corners all clean. You can see this extra silver trim there on the back bumper. So it might only look minor, but it really does make the car sort of stand out. Offside, driver's side of the car, again, really smooth in the panel work. Also rear alloy, absolutely perfect. And the main panel works absolutely lovely as well. Final alloy, hardly a mark anywhere. So externally the car is in absolutely beautiful condition. It's coming inside the boot area. Huge boots on the CR-Vs, quick folding rear seats there with those handles. They've been kept absolutely beautifully back here as well. So coming to the back of the car now, big wide opening rear doors. You can see the amount of rear leg room you get. Those front seats are set for me and I'm over 6 foot tall, and absolutely huge amount of rear leg room. Rear seats in fabulous condition. Not always the case with CR-Vs, unfortunately. Kids tend to damage them, but this one's been kept very well. Coming to the front now, just as the rain's about to start, unfortunately. I love this interior colour. It looks absolutely fantastic on the car, especially on dull days like today. Just adds loads of extra brightness into the car. So coming to the front door card, again, really clean and tidy. Driver's seat, again, very nice indeed. Obviously electric adjustments on this with memory settings, which should attach themselves to the keys as well. So sat inside the car now, engine's running through this section so the dashboard can be seen illuminated, which looks pretty much as new. It's in beautiful condition. See there, sat nav working absolutely perfectly. If I pop the car into reverse, get that lovely clear gridded parking camera on there as well, but as I say, it's been kept wonderfully well. I'll come across the main dashboard binnacle, and hopefully you can see in there 65,694 miles, and there are no warning lights on the vehicle at all. Just put the steering wheel straight, slightly OCD, but it is absolutely fabulous in here. Finally, trying not to get too wet, coming under the engine bay, which has been beautifully presented by Honda as always. Cam chain driven engines, so nothing to worry about on those. Right then, this is a road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V, and it's the 2.2 EX automatic diesel. This particular car is registered, if I can read it, 1 second, OV63HCJ, and mileage at the start of the road test is 65,688 miles. The reason for the videos is basically so that if anyone's looking at this car online in an advert, they actually get to see that very car in operation. We know to our cost how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which looks great in the description and the photographs, only to jump in and drive it to find out it's got a fundamental problem which you clearly should have been told about, so you could allow for it or not bother turning up to see it. Road test is also done on part of the road test route any prospective buyer would go on if offered a test drive, so hopefully then would be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive. So coming to the car itself, start with the engine. always a good place to start on a Honda car. Brilliant units. This one starts absolutely instantly, settles to completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights at all on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And temperature gauge is running at a third, and that's exactly where it should be on a Honda vehicle. And this car's been running for over an hour and a half, so it's obviously clearly thoroughly warmed up. The engines are just superb. They really are lovely engines. Sweet, refined, powerful, very reliable, very long lasting, and just a lovely unit to use day in, day out, and perfectly matched to the automatic transmission. And unfortunately the same can't be said of every turbo diesel, because for some reason some just don't work that well. You suffer horrible lag. These don't. It's a lovely flexible unit, it really is. Engine then feeds through into the auto gearbox. Auto gearbox, as you'd expect from a Honda, is very, very good indeed. The gear shifts are very smooth, positive, actually quick for a conventional torque converter gearbox. But as I said, they're virtually imperceptible, because what you should be looking for in any used car, no matter what their reputation may be, is just gear changes should be smooth. There shouldn't be any clunks, shouldn't be any delays in selecting neutral and into drive or reverse. And this one's perfect in every sense. It does also have the facility on the steering wheel here. You've got plus and minus, plus on this side, minus on this side. So if you want to use it manually or operate it manually, you can. Hardly ever used, in all honesty, but if you want to, just if I was going to pull the minus one back, it selected me fourth gear, drop it down to third gear. You imagine I was overtaking. It's basically, so it stops the gearbox sort of changing up suddenly when you don't want it to halfway through a manoeuvre, and it turns itself off just as quickly, by the way. But all functions working exactly as they should. Steering on the vehicle, which has always been a strong point on the CR-Vs, is positive, perfectly matched the chassis, makes the car feel lovely and secure on the road as well, and it feels tight on the car. It feels really nice. It's been there's no kind of wheel wobbles. I mean, it's 60 miles an hour there, track's dead straight. There's no steering wobble at all on the steering wheel, and the chap that drives it down the motorway to us said there was, he always checks for us, nothing at motorway speeds either. I'm just going to do the brakes now, because I've got a bit of a sharp left-hand turning coming up here, so I'm going to give them a bit of a late shove. So really nice brake pedal on the car, no kind of pulsing or vibration coming back through the pedal, and it pulls it up nice and straight as well, doesn't sort of want to pull left or right. Chassis on the car, I mean, obviously the CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, so Honda know this market very well, and you can tell because they've got it absolutely spot on. The compromise, which is what suspension's all about, is perfect. It gives you a very comfortable ride on pretty much every surface. But what it also gives you, which is a rarity for a taller SUV, is really good body control through the corners. And that's really important, not so much for the driver, but more for the people behind in the rear seats and the passenger who may not be concentrating on the road. Because quite often you get a car that feels lovely and soft and spongy and comfortable on the straight ahead, but show it a couple of corners and they can lurch violently and just loads of body roll angle. This one here, go through this corner, say a little bit quicker than it would do normally. It just holds station really nicely. That's sort of one of our quicker corners, and then this one come up here, sort of a medium to slow speed one. Again, go through it a little bit quicker than I really would do normally. Turn in, just so unflustered. It really is. It's just a class act, it really is. What I'm looking for on these road tests is when you hit a bump like that one there, you'll hear the bump, but there shouldn't be any kind of knocking noises or chatterings, and there's nothing coming from underneath the vehicle, so it's perfect in that sense. Looking around inside the car, it's in beautiful condition in here, it really is. And if ever you want an advert for one of these lighter interiors, here's the perfect example. Dull, miserable, horrible day, to be honest with you, and yet the interior of the car, bright, airy, big glass roof, the contrasted trims done really nicely. The photographs don't do it justice, because it always makes it look a little bit odd in colour, always best seen in the flesh. It really is fantastic. It also has the added advantage of, in the summer when black interiors get red hot, these don't. and in the winter they don't get that icy cold either, so the best of both worlds. Still get heated seats in it, by the way, with 2 settings. It all worked and all absolutely fine. It's also beautifully made. I mean, no squeaks, no rattles, nothing at all. It's just a wonderfully assembled car, and great place to sit. Brilliant driving position. The dash itself, I mean, it looks like new, but although it's very highly equipped, it doesn't faze you. It doesn't look like it's going to get in it and think, oh my goodness me, there's millions of buttons. Quite the opposite. You've got a really simple, easy to use radio and sat nav there. Climate control system, good old-fashioned system. You turn things, you press buttons of the highest quality as well, by the way. Every button has that lovely actuation to it. But it really, and by the way, air conditioning, I've put it into a nice warm workshop earlier on, blowing out lovely cold air, so that's been checked and all good. Dashboard directly in front. Nice, clear, legible dials, all working again exactly as they should. And then steering wheel, which looks and feels absolutely as new in hand, with obviously multifunction controls with, you know, cruise, information display, hands-free, etc. But it really is a very nice design in here. They are obviously 4-wheel drive vehicles, albeit Honda worked out straight away that most people would be driving in conditions not dissimilar to this, where you don't need 4-wheel drive. So for virtually all the time, it's running in 2-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. That way, saving fuel, tyres, and putting less mechanical wear through the car. Only if you start to lose grip on snow, ice, or mud, it instantly brings in the 4-wheel drive as part of the traction control, recognises it, and disengages it when you don't need it. It's brilliantly simple and fantastically reliable as well. We've never put a spanner on in 20 plus years of selling these vehicles. As I said at the start of the video, as brief as it might be, it's just to show the car in operation. It drives perfectly, and I've got one, so I know exactly how they should drive, but we've sold thousands. And if there was something amiss, I'd let you know, and there was nothing at all. It drives as well as any as I've ever driven. As always though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.